Five, four, three, two, one. We are live. Adapt the canvas. Tuesday the 30th. How are you doing? Welcome, everybody. We have a jam-packed episode today. Some of you are going to like this, some of you are not. But this is just like the medicine that we hate to drink, but it's going to make us better in the end. The subject matter today, the sound okay? Everybody got sound? Everybody got sound? Just check everybody got sound. Give me a thumbs up if you got sound. Sound okay? Give me some thumbs up. Sound okay? Sound okay? Okay. I guess the sound is okay. All good here, great. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. Before we start, we have to pay our respects to one of the greatest sound men, vocalists, orators of our scene who passed away. Great friend of ours. We all know him. We've all enjoyed his sets with Bookham. Let's give ourselves a moment to pay our respects to MC Comrade. So, welcome everybody to Adapt the Canvas. Thank you for joining me over the last few weeks and helping this group, this community grow. I have one ask of everybody is to tell one other person about Adapt the Canvas. And please go to adaptthecanvas.com and sign up for a newsletter. I'm building a community, and that's going to help spread the word and inform other people about what this community is about. And like I keep saying every week, we've got some amazing things coming. So I'd really appreciate if you get any value out of this, go to adaptthecanvas.com, sign up for the newsletter. Let's get this community growing and share this with just one person. We're seeing some great numbers. Let's keep building. Let's keep growing. And I will be here every week for the foreseeable future, sharing my knowledge and my wisdom and my lessons, my failures and my successes to help this creative community go to the next level. So do we have a deal? Thank you very much. So this week's topic, why people give up too soon. And one of the points that we're going to be discussing is not what you think it is. So why am I talking about, why people give up too soon? Why is that important? Well, think about it. You're a creator, right? There's two types of creators. And there's two types of destinations. I'm switching destination from goal from now on. So there's two types of destination and there's two types of creator. There's the creator that's quite content doing the same thing with the type of goal as well. The goal is easy to attain, so the creator goes for that goal, destination. Then there's the other type of creator who's always pushing to do something hard, to do something different, to do something unique. They go after the unattainable goal, the unattainable vision. Why? It's harder to do. The unattainable goal is generally unattainable. Therefore, it's hard. Therefore, most people don't tend to go for it. the easier goal, the stuff that most people go for, and there's a saying, most people don't aim high and miss, most people aim low and hit, right? I would add another another part to that is most people give up way too soon when the going gets too tough. And what do I mean by that? When you are going for something that's beyond your capabilities, when you're going for something that is harder for you to reach than the people around you are doing, than what you've accomplished before, there's a message in that. Going for the goal isn't what it's about. I mean, trying to get the goal isn't what it's about. It's going for the goal. It's the destination. It's the journey. It's the thing that's going to turn you into the person that you will become, right? And I'll add thank you for Marlon Myron Gold for this extra bit. It's not just enough for you to become the person to get the goal. You have to become the person who can keep the goal and maintain the goal, right? This is why people give up too soon, because that stretch pushes them over the edge. They're not prepared to do what it takes to get to that next level. They're not prepared to go and push themselves to a place where they have to be uncomfortable. They're not prepared to sit in that uncomfortable space for long periods of time. Remember, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. Most people give up after a week because they're not seeing results. And especially in this distraction-driven world where it's all about these quick wins. And we'll get into that in a minute because the system is set up for you to fail. We'll dive more into that in a sec. We don't have the resilience we used to have. We don't have the stamina we used to have. We don't have the fortitude we used to have. And I'm going to say it. We have become soft. Yes, I said it. Soft. We've become weak. We've become too accustomed to these luxuries. We've forgotten about what a hard day's work is about. We've forgotten about what the struggle means, what the determination and focus and to build fortitude actually means. And so we give up when it gets too tough. Instead of going out there and making shit happen, we go and create a Facebook group. We go and blog about it. That's the extent of our, angst today. Oh, I'm really angry. I'm going to write a blog instead of going out and actually doing something. Of course, I am knocking it a little bit. But the point I'm trying to make is when we dig deep, amazing thing happens. When we focus deeper into the ideas of what's difficult, amazing things happen. We are building resilience. We're building strength. We're building a new muscle. We're building a new thing in our nervous system so that we can become something more, something better. We can get and strive to whatever next level is required of us. Why is that important? Because the future is unknown. And we must follow our visions. Sorry, I had to get that in there. The future is unknown. It's full of unpredictable pathways. It's full of uncertainty. It's full of unclarity. And so why do we need to build resilience? Because you have to be able to persevere in the unknown. And I spoke about this last week. The unknown is full of nothing, right? But that doesn't mean there's no resources there. And what we've been trained to believe is that When we think about nothing, we don't actually think that there's anything there for us. In reality, everything comes from nothing, from the imagination, right? So when we think about what we need to create, you have to be willing to put yourself in a state of nothingness to create something by using your imagination. If you're pushing to do something new, Joseph Campbell talks about the wasteland, and the wasteland is a space, mental space, metaphorical space that references when you run out of resources. It references where you stay too long in one place and you've used up all your resources. It could be real resources, it could be mental resources, that there's nothing left. And so what do? You have to do one of two things. You move on to the next area where there are resources, where there are opportunities. But this is scary because it means leaving the comfort of what you know. So do you relate to this, people? You getting this? Because what tends to happen is that we stay in jobs far too long when they don't give us the satisfaction we need. We stay in relationships far too long when they don't meet our basic requirements. And these are patterns of comfort that we get into because they're easy, because they're comfortable, because they don't require us any energy to change. To go to do something new, we call this something escape velocity. Escape velocity means you have to use a certain amount of energy to get out of the Earth's energy, the Earth's atmosphere, because that's where the strongest pull is. So a rocket taking off uses 90%, 80% of its fuel just to get outside the atmosphere, and then it doesn't use anymore as much energy because there's not so much gravity in space. And that's what most projects require. A serious amount of energy for long periods of time until it yields results. Most people don't want to go through that because it's going to require you to face yourself. Face a part of yourself that potentially you keep running away from. It brings up some feelings of uncomfortableness. It brings up anxiety. It brings up worry. It brings up stress. It doesn't feel great, right? And of course, it doesn't make a great social media post on Instagram. Yeah, I pushed myself into the unknown today, and you know, I met the demon. No one wants to read that, although we should want to read that because we find more out about what it's like when we fail and who we are to keep moving forward than we do when people succeed. When people succeed, they don't often tell you what it was like, although they've gone through it. They're not telling you what they went through. So it almost feels like there's this sort of trick there. Whereas most people don't talk about the failures. Why? Because it's not acceptable in society to fail and publicly come out and say, you know what, I failed again. Oh, you know what, we'll support you. Figure out how to do it better next time. No one says that. Everyone backs off. We need to change that as a culture. Why do people give up too soon? Unrealistic expectations. Keep watching social media. Keep reading those posts what everyone puts out. That's incomplete information. They're not telling you the whole truth. They're not telling you exactly what they went through to create the type of success they had. And so everyone just reads the end result. Everyone just sees the end result and sees the success that they've got. And that's the trap. Success is the trap. Success doesn't tell people what to prepare for. Yeah, you know what? I just cracked it. I'm on 50 grand a month. But they didn't tell you about all the 20 failures that they had, all the staff that left them, all the apps that they created and didn't work, all the money they sunk into it and it didn't work. All the people that they came with who tried to keep up with them and fell off, and the friends that left them, the house they had to remortgage, the car they had to sell, the plays that they missed at school, the days when they couldn't take their kids to school, they couldn't pick their kids up, and the days they had to sleep underneath the desk. Days and days and days of it, years and years and years of it. They don't talk about that stuff. And so everyone's got this unrealistic expectation that, you know what, I'm just going to get a computer, I'm just going to get these programs, and I'm just going to do what they do over there. You're not actually understanding what they do. You just see the end result, and you do it a few times, but you don't get the result. It doesn't work. No, it works when you work it. It works when you work it. Of course it works. That's why that person was able to create that level of success, because they worked it. They found out how to make it work, so they worked it. That's why it works. It's always working. It's working on you when you don't think it works. It's working on you when you give up working on you. It's working on you when you don't understand that it's working on you. That's the nature of it. It's the universe. It's consciousness. That's how it works. And when you give up too early, you stop the process. And then you have to go back to the beginning. You start something else. And guess what? You get another problem. Then you start something else. You get another problem. You start something else. You get another problem. You keep giving up at the same point. You have these unrealistic. Is it drop shipping? Is it DJing? Is it producing? Is it skateboarding? Is it BMXing? Is it online marketing? Is it offline marketing? Is it flyering? Is it designing? But it doesn't matter what it is, because the problem that keeps showing up is you. Everywhere where you keep failing, the problem's the same. It's you. There is no shortcut to it. It's hard to hear sometimes when you have to face yourself and you recognize you are the problem. You're the one that keeps giving up. You're the one in every situation. You're the person there all the time, giving up, not understanding not understanding, giving what you need to do enough time to work. You're planting a seed in the soil. It has to take time to germinate. It needs nutrients. It needs the sun. It takes 8 months for a baby to be born. They say it takes 20. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the next best time to plant a tree is now, right? And so if you've got the skill and the fortitude and the community around you to support you, because that's another factor we'll get into in a minute. But if you haven't got the community around you to support you with the vision that enables you to stick at hard things, that's where the growth is. Sticking at hard things until you create the type of success that you want. Don't get confused with these nice memes. Time is money. Knowledge is power. They are incomplete sentences. They sound great. You have to dig deep and really find out what is the real. Knowledge is power. If used consistently over long periods of time, has the potential to yield power. Time is money. No, time is energy. And if you don't have enough energy used consistently, effectively, and efficiently, you don't have the energy to make money. When we start breaking this stuff down, we start to see what the real, the real structure and strategy that's required to actually maintain through all of this. And it's not sexy. It's quite boring. It's quite monotonous. And to be able to work for 10 years to create a goal, a dream, a destination, an outcome without seeing any signs of success, could you do that? Character defining attributes. Could you work for 10 years on a project without seeing any signs that it was going to work for you? Are you that committed? That's what will separate you as a creator from everyone else around you. That will future-proof you from AI. That will future-proof you from all of the technology around you, because art and the craft will always be around. That's the difference that makes the difference. The art and the craft. And that comes with long, arduous discipline, focus, determination. The basic principles that's been around since the pyramids. They haven't changed. That commitment, that focus, that doesn't change. So the goal, the destination determines who you need to become. The goal, the destination determines who you need to become so that you can get the goal, but also maintain it and keep it when you get there. If there's anybody here who knows anything about success, who's been to any level of the mountaintop, you know that it took an enormous amount of energy to get to the mountaintop. But the energy requirement increased to such a level once you got to the top because you needed it to maintain it. And only a few people know what that's like. When you get to the top, you think, yeah, I've reached, and you look up and there's another mountain. And you use all of your strength to get to where you are, and then you have to compose yourself and go again. Is it worth it? What's in it for me? What's in it for my family? What's in it for my community? Why do I want to put myself through that type of stress, that type of energy? This is the stuff that goes through our heads. You're seeking greatness. You're seeking a level of commitment that's not seen in you or in your community or the people around you know. You are going to be the first person to do it. That's scary. That brings up all kinds of fears, anxieties, worries, stresses, beliefs. But what we mistaken that for is signals for you not to go further. It's the complete opposite. This is the challenge to overcome, to get to that level, to reach that next level, to go beyond what anyone else around you's gone and done before, to be the first in your family, to be the first in your community, to start a new genre, to make a new sound, to create a new business, to reach the first to reach 1 million, the first to reach 1 billion, the first to launch a new product, the first to travel to a new area. That takes strength. So sometimes when people see that, they look at the mountain, they think, fuck, that's that's a mountain I gotta climb. Yeah, the time's gonna pass. What are you gonna do with it anyway? You're getting old. Another year's gonna go past. Time's passing. What are you gonna do with your time? Set yourself a worthwhile goal. Set yourself a worthwhile vision. The distraction stopping you. What is the distraction stopping you? What is the distraction stopping you? So let's dive into this. This comes from a blog called The Honest Gentleman, I think it's called. Very interesting. So a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about, is it art or is it content? You know, is it art or is it content? Art is about creating a story that helps with build the signature, helps you get recognized. It's the craft. Whereas content feeds the algorithm. You're supplying the platforms because you are the product. Right? Remember we spoke about that. So this guy takes it a step further. He says that art was eaten by entertainment. So think about it. Where we were before the internet or before social media anyway, it was lots of craft, lots of art. Then social media, entertainment. dancing, cats, right? Entertainment. Then we got entertainment. We've got the distraction. Think about what's stopping you. And, I've just been doing a day of coaching and mentoring. Part of one of the uh, in one of the sessions we talked about what are the things stopping you, and we asked a question: how much time do you spend on social media? Everybody, is uncomfortable around that number because we start to see how much time these platforms are taking from us, right? So think about the hack of what these platforms do. In the beginning, it's free. You can reach as many people as you want. Then all of a sudden, it becomes, sharing cat videos. And now it's TikTok. It's the short attention span, the quick dopamine rush. The platforms now, there's this acronym they're called the dopamine cartel. Because why? We are addicted, which is the last stage in this transformation, art into entertainment, into the distraction, into addiction. Think about it. I did a workshop many years ago, and there was a young girl in the workshop. She was sat at the back, and she had her hood up, and it was like, what's going on with that? All right. Well, she's just in a class. She wants to learn. So I'm doing the session, and I get to this point in the workshop where we start talking about social media and how long what the distractions and then social. And she jumps up. She goes, "That's what happened to me. I haven't been able to use my phone." And she was having withdrawal symptoms. She was sat in the back like an addict having withdrawal symptoms because she couldn't get online. 17, 18-year-old. And so this is an epidemic we are experiencing. We wonder why we're not getting stuff done. We wonder why we're easily distracted. We wonder why we give up too soon because we're getting dopamine rewards. We're getting dopamine rewards really quickly. We're getting these hits that give us the satisfaction as if we've done a full day's work, as if we've finished a project we've been working on for 5 or 6 years. We're getting these quick, short hits, and we feel satisfied, but we're not actually achieving anything. It's like the spinning wheels on those American cars. The cars stood still, but the wheels are still spinning. We're mistaking movement for progress. And we're having these new feelings, these new anxieties, these new stresses that we can't even comprehend or understand. Technology's moving so fast, we don't even know what it's for. Apparently, the device that I'm doing this live stream on now has got more power than what put the man on the moon, put man on the moon, but yet I'm just using it for live streams or checking my emails. This is technology right now. Is it using us? Are we using it? Are we distracted by it? Have we found a way to help it do what we want it to do? Where is it going to go once AI really takes us to the next level? Are we really understanding what this next level of the game is about? And if you are using it to help you do what you want to do, share it in the chat so we can all learn from you. But if you need help, then again, put something in the chat. Let's figure out how we can start teaching each other how to use the technology to start getting the best results we possibly can. The work works on you. The work works. Why do people give up too soon? Because they don't see the results that they want quick enough. They can't imagine working for 2 to 3 years, 4 years, 5 years without seeing enough progress. They've got a peer group around them who don't understand the commitment that needs to happen so that you can create success. They have partners who are constantly telling them that the project that they're working on isn't going to work because it would have worked by now. It only takes 2 years. It should only take 3 years. It should only take 4 years. How long does it take a baby to be made? How long does it take, you a house to be built? How long does it take a, a track to be finished? How long does it take an album to be done? How long does it take a clothing line to be made? How long does it take, an architect to draw a building and then that building to be built? All of these things have one particular thing in common. You've got to get the foundations right. You have to take time on creating stable foundations. Right? When you don't have the stable foundations, guess what? You can't build anything on top. That's why most people try to rush into this thing, don't get the results what they want. They're building on top of unstable foundations, and guess what happens? They get 2, 3 years down, they have a few problems because they haven't understood what they've built or how to build it. They just copied everybody else around them. They don't have the knowledge built into the nervous system. And as soon as something goes wrong, they can't fix it. And what do? Oh, they chuck in the towel and then try and do something else because they want to do something quick. They want to see results. What you want to do is learn. That's what you want to do. You want to learn how to learn. You want to learn what it's like to learn and get the skill set. Because once you understand that, that's the most valuable skill in the world. Knowing how to learn. Knowing what to look for. What are the signs? Totally overlooked. And our education system's not teaching us that. They're teaching us stuff that's totally irrelevant. They're teaching us stuff that was popular 100 years ago. And we're now moving into an era where we can't teach people fast enough. They keep saying AI is going to take people's jobs. No, AI is not going to take anyone's job. The people who understand how to use AI will take your job. The people who understand how to program AI to take your job will take your job. That's the technology. And we've all been here before. We've had this conversation with technological advancements. They said the same thing when the steam train came out. They said the same thing with radio. They said the same thing with telephone. They said the same thing with electricity. They said the same thing with the internet. They said the same thing with digital. They said the same thing with Bitcoin. They said the same thing with the phone. And look, they just augment what we're doing. So again, let's retrieve the deleted information. Let's go back into the information and pull out what it exactly is that they, whoever they are trying to say. Again, we're distracted. Again, people aren't doing the due diligence, aren't finding out for themselves what is required of them to create the life that they want. We're relying too much on social media. We're relying too much on information from people who haven't experienced enough to guide us through. And why is that? Because we are addicted. Remember, where do 90% of us go for news? Right? Social media. That's where we're going for news. Can anybody actually 100% say that the information that they're consuming hasn't been created by AI? And although we're seeing AI being made popular now, come on, it must have been around for a good 10, 20 years before it became mainstream. That's how this whole stuff works, right? Think about the internet. The internet's been around since the 60s, but it only became popular in the late 90s. They were using it then. The army had the technology then. So what are we basing our decisions on? How are we using the technology? Yes, coded language. How are we using technology? How are we using, our own instincts, our own intuition, our own imagination to program the reality that we want? Now, what can we do to get back to a state of craft, get back to a state of art, get back to a state of feeling like we're in control and we can do what we need to do to get to a place of whatever we call success. And that needs to be reworded in some way where we feel like we're making progress. What progress do we need to make so we feel like we're actually moving forward? So we're mistaken trust and faith versus doing the long term or playing the long term game. Because people say, yeah, just trust the process. Well, you don't have to trust the process. Once you know the process, you practice it and you do it over and over again. No one trusts that they can drive a car after you've been doing it for 20 years. Think about it. No one trusts that they can ride a bike when they've been doing it for 10 years. You don't need to trust anything. You don't need to have faith in anything. The process is the process because it's the process. It works because it's the work. It's working on you. When you learn to ride a bike and you do that for 10, 15, 20 years, you can pretty much do it with one hand, no legs, no hands, because you practiced it. This is what this is about. This is why when you do the work, you won't give up too soon because you will understand that it takes more energy that you're putting in right now, and it's going to require you to keep pushing forward. You will notice the signals, you'll notice the signs, you'll notice that, you know what, this is right on cue. It's been 18 months and I'm struggling and this doesn't feel good. This is why I need to keep going. I'm about to give up. I've had enough. I ran out of money. No, everyone has left. The bailiffs are knocking at the door. Success is just around the corner. I'm about to have a big breakthrough. Counterintuitive. Most people do the complete opposite when it gets to that point. But the reality of it is, that's the point you got to keep going. That's the point you just figure out. And this is what the universe is set to do. It's set to test us. How much will and desire have you got? I'm going to shut this whole thing down. I'm going to make sure your friends don't like you anymore. I'm going to put your girlfriend against you. I'm going to put your boyfriend against you. I'm going to tell the banks to shut you down. I'm going to make sure your business doesn't reach the people it should do. I'm going to make sure your payment gateway gets shut down. I'm going to make sure that the government thinks that you're a threat and a problem. I'm going to show the world that what you're doing that they're not ready for. And what do? You have to stand up and say, you know what? If it's meant to be, it's meant for me. I'm the one that's going to do it. I'm the one that's going to stand through this whole thing and keep moving through it. Because if I had the idea on some level, I must be able to achieve it. Because there is no cruel jokes in the universe like that. The universe isn't going to show you an idea. It's not going to put an idea in your head and then you don't have the capacity to be able to achieve it. It doesn't work like that. If you have an idea, the idea is meant for you. You're not supposed to share it and get everybody in on what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to figure out how to do it. Sure, go and get help. Sure, go and get a mentor. Sure, go and get a coach. But you're the one that's supposed to make it happen. You're the one that's supposed to think through the process because the universe showed it to you. And somehow you can do it. Right? You need to learn new skills, new knowledge, upgrade your thinking, upgrade your beliefs. Because on some level, you're supposed to be the one to take it to the world. You're the one that's going to take it to everybody and show that everybody else what this thing is, what it can do, how it's going to make everyone else's lives better as well as your own. That's the challenge. It's about taking humanity to that next level. But I'm just a DJ. Yeah, but you give on a Friday night, you're not just a DJ. You're someone who relieves people's stress and anxiety. Oh, I just make beats. Yeah, but on the radio, someone's going to hear your beat and that's going to push them to go and meet someone for the first time. And you two are going to have a moment on the dance floor. And then 10 years later, someone's going to come up to you and say, I met my girlfriend listening to your beat. How amazing was that? Right? It's never just, oh, I'm just this. No, it's like you can't imagine the butterfly effect that one simple action can have on the world. If you stay in the pocket, if you just stay in that coalface a day longer, a minute longer, you just find the extra strength to do one more push-up, one more pull-up, ride one more mile, walk one more mile, spend an extra hour in work. You will never know what could happen. And that's what this is about. This isn't about what's happening right now. This is about tomorrow, the next day. This is about the ripple effect that goes out that you can't imagine. The kid in Honduras right now who hears your beat and then figures out how to cobble together enough to make some music. The little girl in India who sees your design online and who copies it, and then she becomes a famous dressmaker. And 20 years later, she comes back and says to you, you know what? It's because of your design. And that's because you stayed up that extra hour and pushed yourself. And put away all those demons. Put to the back of your mind all of the problems of the world that you were going through. You got no food. You can't pay your bills. But you got an idea. And you're seeing it through. And eventually you get through. And something happens. Like, that's, for me, that's what it's about, you know? You just figure this shit out. And trust me, I know it's difficult. I've had businesses fail. I've had tracks that have flopped. I've had, been dumped by girlfriends. I've, been in situations that are painful. But they've made me who I am. I'm grateful for them eventually. I'm grateful for them eventually. It takes a while to learn those tough lessons. You get slapped around in the face by the universe a few times. Of course it hurts. Of course it hurts. But you know what? It's about, like they said in Rocky, it ain't about how hard you get hit down. It's about how many times you can get up. And I was reminded of that just the other day. I'm moaning. Some of these projects I'm doing aren't working fast enough. Da, 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 da. And I read this blog about this guy, and he said something like, I got hit down 100 times, but I kept getting up. And it just like, do you know what? It put me, I had to put the jam back in the donut and put the toys back in the pram, because that's what it was about. I forgot what I was in it for. And I had to just remember, it's like, you know what? What are you learning? Who are you becoming? And then I looked back over just the last 6 months. I'm a completely different person. In 6 months, completely different person. The amount of work that I've been doing on myself, on my businesses, on my team, on my projects, completely different person. I've had to really review, do the Sunday night reviews, and just really get clear, really get that clarity and figure out, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And understand, like, this is why you're doing it. This is what the results are. That's eventually going to happen. So people are not willing to disrupt themselves. Even saying it doesn't feel that great, does it? People are not willing to disrupt themselves. Here's the thing. If you've got a vision in your mind of a destination that you want to go to and you're not there yet, you are not the person who can achieve it. Ooh, that sounds horrible. It doesn't feel good, right? But the reality of it is, knowing that can help you learn what you need to learn to go to that next level. All progress starts with the truth. I'm not that guy right now. I need to work. I'm not that girl right now. I need to work. I'm not that person right now. I need to work. Right? See things as they are and not any worse. Right? We can work with that. Right? I'm not the person who can do it yet. I can work with that. What do I need? Great. That's good questions. Right? What's actually going on? Tell me exact. So I do this in my coaching. I ask people to tell me exactly what's going on. I don't need to hear the exaggerated emotional version of it. I want you to tell me exactly what happened. And you know what happens? A problem happened, They were there when it happened. I'll say that again. A problem occurred and the person was there when it happened. And that's what happened. Everything else is just is unnecessary noise because what we want is the clarity. I was there when it happened. Okay, what did you think? What did you feel? Let's get specific. Okay, because what you make it mean, it might not be. And because you're making it mean what you think it means, now you're taking it somewhere else. Facts. Let's stick to the facts. Let's not add any more because it sounds exciting. It's a great story. Something I tell the mates down the pub, or a story that's going to get me a chick, or a story that's going to get me a guy. No, let's stick to the facts. What exactly happened? I didn't do what was required of me to go to the next level, to open the next door. Okay, why was that? What happened? Well, I was thinking, okay, so it's internal. What do we need to do now? Let's change your beliefs. Let's review the strategy, and then let's go again in a new direction. There's always a way through. Madness, insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Trying loads and loads and loads of different things without changing the person that's doing the different things because you're not going to get outside your comfort zone. Remember, the same person is the same person who has the problem in every situation. So let's change the mindset of the person. Let's help them upgrade their thinking, their knowledge, their beliefs, and their patterns and their habits. And once they do that, they'll see a different opportunity. That's what happens. That's why we have coaches and mentors. That's why we have so many great books, so many great leaders. If coaching and mentoring and reading great books didn't work, we wouldn't have no Tiger Woods. We wouldn't have any Michael Jordans. We wouldn't have Serena Williams. These people were coached and mentors at a very young age. We see the greatness that they've been able to accomplish. Most people ask how when they should be saying who. Who helps me? Not how do I do this? It's counterintuitive. We all ask, how do I do it? You see a mountain, how do I climb it? Instead of who do I get to help me climb it? An expert climber. How do I get to the next level? How do I take my business from here to there? Well, a how question is like you think you need to do more. No, most of the time it's counterintuitive. You need to do less, but more specific things. And you won't know that until you start mixing with the people who are already there. A how. It's much easier to work with somebody who's already there. They can just look back and say, no, step on that stone, and step on that stone. Otherwise, you're just going to be getting wet, jumping here, jumping there, jumping there, trying to figure it out for yourself. The point about disrupting yourself is you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. The comfort zone, what we exist in, what we live in with ourselves, with our community, with our friends, the language patterns that we speak are all designed to keep us where we are. And depending on what level you're on in life, whether you're zillionaire, whether you're extremely happy, always joyful, or depressed, unhappy, not getting the results you want. It doesn't matter what you do, you are bound to that scenario by the language you use, by the experiences you have, by the people around you. Notice whatever scenario you're in, the people around you will be like 1 or 2 points different from where you are. 3 maximum. And that's any kind of points: jobs, income, relationships, livelihood, property, business, ideas, attitude, IQ, language patterns. Notice that there's only 3 points between you and them. That's because you were all comfortable together. Birds of a feather flock together. That's why all footballers hang out together, all golfers hang out together, all athletes hang out together, all tech people hang out together, because they're comfortable in these silos. And so that's what you do. We seek out these silos, we seek out these people, we seek out this stuff that makes us feel comfortable. Some good questions in the chat. Great. So, what's the solution to work on yourself? To find a crew, a team, a community that is dedicated to working on themselves, to find ways to get to that next level, to find ways to better themselves. People who are interested in uplifting the conversation, finding solutions, and doing the hard work. The hard work only lasts for a certain amount of time. You get used to doing it. It's like any muscle. Once you start exercising it, you will get better and better at it. And then you will find better ways. We're like our holographic community, our holographic mentality will tune into other holographic communities and the holographic mentalities. This is how it works. When you raise your vibration and you start tuning into other frequencies, you will start tuning into the frequencies of other people, of other groups. You will start to be magnetically pulled. Look at what we've built here already. You know, I know some of you have been following me since volume 1 of Adapt the Canvas, and I'm extremely grateful that you're here again, volume 2. And you're getting this message, you're resonating with this message, because this is about creativity, this is about art, this is about building mindsets and finding ways to take our businesses, our brands, and our ideas to that next level. So this is a community. This is a place where we're going to find like-minded people who are going to be sharing these ideas. This is a community where we're going to find people that are willing to do the hard work, who are willing to step into that next level, step into that, you know, that frequency where, you know, the next thing is there waiting for you. Here's the interesting thing I'm going to leave you with. I can pretty much predict that about 80% of you are willing to do something next. You might not know what it is. You need a bit of clarity. You need a bit of work, and you're going to be starting asking some interesting questions. 20% of that 80% are going to be ready to do something. We're going to be in the right ballpark to pursue this challenge, to pursue this difficulty. And that's why I'm open to offering you guys this next step, this next thing that we're working on, which is our members platform, which is coming very, very soon. So again, join adaptthecanvas.com, join the newsletter, and join the email newsletter news group as well, so you can stay informed. I want to know what topics and subjects you want to learn about, you want to know about. So email me at disruptivek@gmail.com and let me know what is happening, what's holding you back, what you need to learn in your career, in your life, you know, in your community, how to build stuff. You know, this is what Adapt the Canvas for. We've got some interesting things coming. I'm coaching, I'm mentoring. I've got 3 spaces on my elevation course. If people want to find out about that, email me at disruptivek@gmail.com and let's have a conversation about how the elevation program can help you get to that next level. This has been a great session. All of your comments are amazing. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for being here. We'll be back next week for another episode of Adapt the Canvas. Sign up to the newsletter, adaptthecanvas.com. Email me, disruptivek@gmail.com. Let's continue the conversation. Have a fantastic week. Namaste. I will see you all very, very soon.